show. Let's see what has been happening in the wrestling world. Welcome to the show, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The 2 count, always the best guests in Midwest. The 2 count, great time guaranteed because we're the best of the best. Meet Big Ace and JR, Top Shelf Tommy, we're about to start. Welcome to the 2 count. It's time to dig deep into the wrestling world. Welcome to the 2 count, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The 2 count.
The 2 count. The 2 count, where comedy meets wrestling. Please comment, share, like, and start a hype train for God's sakes. And now, here are the hosts of the 2 count. Comedian John Russell, wrestling broadcaster Big Ace, and everybody's favorite heel, Top Shelf Tommy.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is another Tuesday, and it's the 2 count, and we have a fantastic show for you tonight. From 2econd Wrestling, Rabbi Jeremy Fine is with us, and they're celebrating their first anniversary at 2econd Wrestling down in Chicago with a fantastic show, Dynasty, that is nearly sold out. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that first year. Look at that lineup. And for those of you that are up here in Minnesota, you're going to see a lot of familiar faces on that card, as well as a lot of nationally known talent. So this is going to be a great show.
Indeed. Welcome to the show, Jeremy. We're glad to have you here.
Glad to be here, guys. Thanks for having me. It's 2 count, 2econd Wrestling. I got my new 2econd Wrestling hat. And
I want one already.
Yeah. And then, we're super excited. This is a card that we've been trying to have Hammerstone for a long time. So, we even announced him at the last show just because I actually was just excited. I think, we're really we try to, spend a lot of time with kids and families to get them pumped about wrestling. And, I know if I was a kid, I remember the days of Hulk Hogan walking out, right? Mm-hmm. And when I see Hammerstone, that's where my head goes. It's just he's that guy. And I was like, if I was a kid and he walked out of the curtain, I'd be a wrestling fan immediately. And so we've been excited to have him, and obviously just a great crew. And my Minnesota boys are back, so that's great. There was only one of them on the last show, so which was super weird. I texted a bunch, and I was like, if I sink, it's all of your fault.
Oh, that's great. All right.
Well, good to hear.
Oh, go ahead, Tom.
Oh, no, I was literally going to just say, obviously, we're a little bit familiar with you. I went to last winter's first wrestling show at Temple of Aaron. That's where I first got to see the presence of Rabbi Jeremy Fine.
Yeah.
And it's always exciting to see people from Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities, or anywhere throughout the Midwest get more exposure to some of these major markets, like a Chicago, Milwaukee, Des Moines to a lesser extent and all. But so I'm super pumped for the show because, like you said, a lot of the Minnesota faction is kind of rolling down there. And, hell of a lineup from start to finish, too. So I'm very excited.
Thank you. Yeah. I part of the reason I started this whole thing was because, we started doing these shows at Temple of Aaron really because our congregants were like, this would be a great way to engage sort of our younger population. So we took a flyer, I've noted this story a bunch of times, but, we went down the road with someone and then that didn't work out. And I'm friendly with Cole Cabana he grew up really a couple, neighborhoods over. And so we've been friendly, and he's like, if you're going to do wrestling in Minnesota, call Eric Cannon. So I called Eric, and we just sort of let's try this. And, by the second show, it was a Wednesday night wrestling show in a blizzard in Minnesota, 400 tickets, place was packed. And we looked at each other like, well, this is 400 people in a blizzard in Minnesota on a Wednesday, like something special about what we're doing. And then COVID hit, and, he was the first person I met with. And after that experience, Ken and I spent so much time and effort on those COVID shows that I didn't really want to lose that sort of camaraderie, not just with Cannon, but with wrestling and the crew. And I knew they would play a special role in what I planned on doing here. And they're different to the market. Some of them have a presence. C, who's been on our shows, wrestles out here. Devon on Road wrestles out here. Riley Jackson occasionally. Corbin probably has the most presence in Chicago. Whether that's good or bad is a totally different question. So we knew that we wanted to expose Chicago to some of these people. They've known Eric Cannon, but we're presenting him differently. Free Range Kara. We've had even John Maddening. Like, I wanted to have him out here occasionally. So it's been really great. And Thunder Frog, of course.
Mm-hmm. So the kids gotta love the Thunder Frog, right? I mean, it's just so almost Ninja Turtle like the love that kids have for that guy.
Yeah. So Frog has only been on one of our shows. He's been on. This will be technically his third show. We one of our things that we do is we try to go to like summer camps. And so last summer we did a show, and both Big O Possum and Thunder Frog were there, and the kids, of course. It was great. And we did that was in the Northwoods of Wisconsin.
Nice. Big O Possum, he just was probably passing through, right?
Yeah, they were, just looking. Big O Possum was just looking for some garbage.
There's a video of them singing karaoke together this last week, and that was pretty.
Yeah, I saw that. That's great.
That's a great visual.
Yeah.
Well, again, you have a really big show coming up, but before that, explain how Second City came to be, and your love for wrestling. That's where usually all this starts. Is where did the love for wrestling come in?
So I started loving wrestling as a kid. My father used to take me to shows. Again, Hogan, Savage, the Ultimate Warrior, Demolition, Brutus Beefcake. Those, I grew up with that whole era and really just gravitated to it. And I sort of dropped it for a couple of years. I didn't really think much of it. And then one time I actually was stuck in St. Louis and at a friend's house. There's a snowstorm. We got snowed in. And he turned on wrestling. And all these people I was like, you guys still watch this? And he's like, oh, wrestling's the hottest it's ever been. And I just remember Kane. And I was like, oh, what's going on? And then the New Age Outlaws came out. And I was like, oh, this is different. And then I remember I was a relatively competitive basketball player in high school. And when I would go to the gym to lift weights on Mondays, I would always do a rep, go watch Raw. Then commercial break, I'd go do a rep, come back. And that's what I would do every week. And, ultimately, I never thought I'd be involved in wrestling. I went and watched pay-per-views here and there, the stories of a high school friend having one of those black boxes to get the views for free. We did that.
Those are great.
And then college, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings. Back then we called it B-dubs. And BW3s. And so we would go and watch, and I'm a vegetarian, so I would just be like, just every time you see the mozzarella sticks going away, just bring another batch, because that's all I'm ordering here. And so, ultimately, I didn't think so much of it. And then on a whim, my wife took me to a wrestling show to see Colt Cabana, because I'd never seen him live, even though we were friendly. And then, I started telling people about it, and then we brought it to the synagogue, and the rest is sort of, and then this is, really a continuation. And ultimately, I think religion, I think the things that are pure, or were pure for our generations, and we're all the same exact generation, I'm sure. We've lost those things. We've lost them because of social media. We've lost them because of video games. We've lost them because of divisiveness, and like there's nothing more shock value than an actual rabbi in an actual wrestling ring and to say, let's all do this show together. And if I can play a little, like, I believe we all have to get out of our boxes and understand the person next to us. I don't care if you're totally on the political spectrum with me or you're not. I don't care if you're Jewish or not. Like, wrestling isn't that. Sports aren't that, by the way, too. Sports, like, in general, except my body doesn't allow me to play basketball and baseball at the same level anymore, but it does allow me to speak in a ring with a microphone. And so, use this as a real bridge to say to wrestlers and to fans, like, most days, most hours, I'm a rabbi and I'm teaching, and today I did a funeral and I do all that stuff. And come Sunday, I'm going to be in the ring in a ridiculous jacket, and I'm going to put smiles on everyone's faces because that's what we do.
I love it.
Except Darren Corbin. We will never put a smile on Darren Corbin's face.
Now you mentioned Darren Corbin a couple of times here. I got to say, you can't come on this show without a couple of guys with the red hair here getting a little upset about talking bad about another redhead.
Yeah, well, I'm not judging him based, as a rabbi, I would never judge him based on his appearance.
Right.
Even as ugly as he is, I would never say that. Right?
It's based on the actions, right?
But right, I wouldn't say that. But he puts his nose in my business of this company that I'm trying to bring smiles, and he's ginger snapping a frog. He's ginger snapping a rabbi. He's ginger snapping a guy who brings a huge spoon to the ring to scoop ice cream. Like, what kind of man does that? Mm-hmm. And for to be honest,
no man.
for first wrestling to even give him an opportunity at their belt, it's I'll have to talk to Mr. Cannon about his booking decisions.
Well, we can clearly agree to disagree on this one, but now you mentioned fun jackets while in the ring. Do you and John Madden go to the same tailor?
We do. No, my tailor is Google.com. He's very famous, very wealthy.
Yep, very famous.
Very famous. Actually, I'm going to plug something from Minnesota. So I actually, if I was there, I would maybe be getting them at Nilbert's, which is in St. Paul. Awesome suit shop. I love the people there. They're dear friends of mine, and they were congregants. And I actually did shop there, but none of my jackets for wrestling have come from there yet. Maybe next time I'm in Minnesota.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, if you like the old school, like, suit smell and feel, like, I say this all the time, like, there's a lot of things that have been taken away from, like, the manliness of men, right? Like, we just want to drink beer, smoke a cigar, and watch sports. But part of that is also, like, shape, the barber shop and suits. So these guys, they tailor, like, you walk in and you're like, this is, feel it's the camaraderie of men getting together still exists there. It's kind of cool.
Nice. I want to go back to when you were what you said about what made you fall in love with wrestling, and you said that the big time for you was Hogan and all that. So I'm curious just to know, because there's always moments that can make an impression for you. Like, for me, I will always remember seeing Piper and Piper spit with Superfly. So what are a couple moments for you that stand out that you're like, man, that was the hook? So I just got the toy. The Mega Powers were the thing for me. Yeah. I just got, I got it from Ringside Collectibles, and the package was ripped. And I was like, I need this mint. Like, I'm not taking this out of the package. They were really great. And they, I sent it back, and they sent me a brand new one. So that was a huge thing. I used to own, I don't know how I got it, but I used to own a copy of, I think that's SummerSlam 88. And I used to just watch it on repeat. So also in that SummerSlam is when
Ultimate Warrior being talking talk in 5 seconds for the title. That match, one of the great things about wrestling is that you can tell a story in an hour and tell a story in 5 seconds, and they both can leave that same feeling. It depends on the people in the ring.
Yeah.
And so Warrior clearly was not the greatest technical wrestler in the world, but he made people feel. He really, at least in his heyday, he made people connect. And he did it in he probably, all his matches probably should have been 5 seconds. But I was a big fan of the Rockers. I was a big fan. My dad. Another one is when Ravishing Rick Rude pulls down his pants on the top rope and he's wearing Jake the Snake's. I think that's also at SummerSlam, but it leads to that whole story.
Yeah,
that was really big for me. Another big moment to me that drew me back in really deeply was when Jericho debuted on Raw and the spat between we sort of knew. That's when the internet sort of started to know these things a little bit. So you kind of got a sense. And I remember my dad being like, "Oh, it's just one of the guys from WCW that no one cares about." But I was like, "There's got to be a reason they're putting him on TV with The Rock right away, right? Someone has to know something about this guy." And The Rock was amazing, and Jericho was amazing. It's one of the best segments. Last year I went back. I had been to WrestleMania 22, which was in Chicago. Nice. And I went to WrestleMania last year. I'm going this year more for work purposes. But last year I went, because I was like, Stone Cold is wrestling. I can't not be there. I have to be there. So
that was me. That was me for 28 when Rock beat Cena. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to Mania the next year. And it was the best week of my life.
Yeah, and I have a hard time believing that it's going to be in LA and Roman is having one of the most engaging storylines forever, and it's not going to be headlined by The Rock and Roman. And I don't care that The Rock wins the Royal Rumble. Great. I don't care if it's predictable. That's what I want to see, and that's why I bought tickets, because I'm banking on that match, and I don't care what night it headline because I'm going to be at both. So we're staying close to the stadium. So it should be fun. And we're going to do I'm going to do a bunch of indie shows, and we might do something special. Last year we at Second Wrestling we had Billy defend our title. Billy Starks is our champion, and we had her defend it. Yeah,
we love Billy.
We love Billy.
Like a great representation of who we try to be, right?
Yeah.
So she defended her title on a Dallas Pro Wrestling show, Dallas Fort Worth Pro Wrestling show, the DFW, and against Richée Chanel. If anyone's seen her, she's really great. She hasn't really done a lot in the Midwest, and not for talent reason. I think a lot of it is, I think like all promoters right now will tell you, it's just like it's really hard to fly people in. Everything's double what it used to be, and
flights are ridiculous.
Right. And so now, because you have two companies also, I was having this conversation with someone the other day, is that there's not as many draws, right? Maybe Effie's a draw, and maybe Hammerstone's a little bit draw, and Chelsea Green's a draw, and Matt Cardona's a draw, but they're very far and few between because there's so many companies. And so, it's hard to justify paying. And I will totally. Richée was fantastic, great to work with, great match, very entertaining. Enjoyed meeting her, so it was great. They asked who we wanted her to face, and that was a name they threw out, and we were excited about it. And she's wonderful, but it's hard to justify anyone getting on a flight if you don't believe they're going to sell tickets. Because, again, if you can lose money on every show, then it doesn't matter. But if you can't, if you just want to break even, you got to, just her flight alone would be a lot of tickets to sell.
Yeah. For sure.
Very true.
So I'm curious, as you mentioned that when you're going through and trying to find these people that can be draws, do you have a certain characteristic or personality that you're looking for that would mesh with what you want to do with Second Wrestling?
Yeah. So first and foremost, we really try to hire or bring in talent that are good people and that are going to make the locker room an enjoyable place to be. Because I want the talent to leave as happy as the fans. So that's number one. Number two is we have a mix of our base. Our base, I would say, is a car always from Minnesota, a handful of guys that we're starting to develop in Chicago, a car from Billy Starks, but she usually comes with one or two people, and so we know that sort of baseline, right? And then we say, okay, where does the story that we're always trying to tell develop? Who are those right people to bring in, and what makes good matches? And I think one of the things that we've really done is that we haven't repeated so Chicago's filled with great companies. And I say this all the time. This isn't a slight to them. This is actually like a huge uplift to them, propping them up. Freelance, Warrior we spoke about, I think maybe it was before we started recording. Warrior, AAW, right, where I first saw my first indie show. So we can't replicate that. First of all, they own the city. I don't mean like actually own it, but they run the city. We run the suburbs. Number two is they've been doing it much longer. They have faithful fans. And why also try to replicate that? So we tried to give an alternative look at these people, right? We booked Eric Cannon versus Billy Starks because I think that's a cool match. Dak Draper and Hammerstone have never gone head to head. People want to see that match. Chelsea Green and Billy Starks never went head to head. Are we going to occasionally have a Laney Luck versus Blair Onyx, two women we love working with? Have they wrestled 1,000 times? Yeah, they haven't wrestled for us. So how do we present them differently? And how does that match make sense for our crowd? We spend a little bit more. We watch every match that's not every match, but at least a match from everyone who writes in. Even if that's not the right way to do wrestling promoting. I do it at the gym. It's not like I'm sitting there losing work hours, but we do that. And we're always willing to try to give one person a shot on our show. So that happened, this time around, it's a tag team called Better Together that are based in Florida, who will be around the area and contacted us, and we said, why not? I happen to know one of the wrestlers. Corey O'Neill, who's been this is his third show with us, and only because he emailed me and was polite. I mean, that's the truth. I was like, I'm going to give some random person a try. It's going to be who the nicest person really is. I'm a rabbi. Why would I not want to, reward someone for being kind? And then it just happened that he has family in nearby. And so he's going to be in town again for this show. So he reached out. I said, "Cor, sure. If we have a spot, we'll book you." And we have a nice relationship with him. He helped us bridge that gap a little bit in Dallas, where we wanted to put our title on, and vouch for us. And he's had some friends come on our show too, so that's been nice. So for us, a lot of it is trying to give for the people who they see. So let's say Blair Onyx or Eric Cannon, who people have seen before. I'm not in denial of that. Or you're Darren Corbin, who wrestles for Freelance, wrestles occasionally, wrestles for a lot of Chicago companies. How do we present them differently? Like who they're feuding with, who they're going to be with. And also, how do we then bring in matches that are sort of the draw? So Kylie King has never wrestled for a Chicago promotion. Mind you, she's coming back next weekend. So Warrior's booking her the weekend after. We're the first. So I'm looking for people who haven't been here in a while. People need to be presented differently. And Laney Luck works face for us. But that's not her main role everywhere she goes. But
right.
we're excited about that, and because she's fun and gets the kids involved. That's really what we're about. Eric Cannon's not really drinking beer in the ring with us. Warhorse is still Warhorse.
Yeah.
True. Can't turn that down.
No, you got to turn it up to 11. So,
Way to roll with that. I like that. I appreciate that.
So, so everyone we've used, and then there's just guys like, to be honest with you, Dak Draper's back because, he's just the man.
Yep.
And he can wrestle anyone and have a great match. And we knew that. And we wanted Hammerstone to face someone where it feels like a main event. And Dak Draper versus Hammerstone is a main event and should be on any card.
I like it. Well, you're speaking of it. Let's get into it, guys. We're going to just run through this real quick with you. December 11th, coming up this weekend. How many tickets are left?
There's like
4.
we sold out, and then we rearranged the room a bit, and we were able to add 40 more tickets, and those are nearly gone. So we're in a good spot.
You're going to be able to say this is a double sellout.
Double sellout, right?
Show. That's amazing. All right, this is not going to be in any certain order, Mr. Fine, so I apologize, but I'm going to just throw these up. First thing I got here is you got an 11 stars battle royal to crown the first ever Maxwell Street Heritage Champion.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a battle royal on a card, I'm in.
So this is our first one. We've announced 10 of the competitors. So there's always little nods in what we do. So all of our shows are named after the stories in order of the Bible.
Oh.
That's part of the rabbi gimmick, right? So first one was creation.
Very
then
nice.
Zone. There was Noah. Then we had 3 was Walk This Way, which was Abraham leaving. Then there was Deep Cut for circumcision. We were like that one I was really working hard on.
Oh my God. I was wondering about that one. Oh, geez, man. That is fantastic.
I could, but this one is Dynasty because Abraham passes on to Isaac. I have the name for the next one, which I won't say. I'm hoping to have the venue this week before we, so we can announce it at the show. But and so that will always be the 11 stars. The 11 stars in Jacob's Dream, and so that is so those are 11 stars. We left one blank, and I'm not going to share who it is, but it is someone people are very familiar with. It is someone people are very familiar with. The competitors are Thunder Frog,
nice.
Xavier Sky, who's never wrestled for us, and Jordan Cross, who's never wrestled for us. We're very excited about them. Nice. We have Corey O'Neill, who we mentioned earlier. Jackson Larkin, who is 2-0 at Second Wrestling. Etio Orlandi, who's up and coming. Jason Midas, who happens to manage Jackson Larkin, will be in there. And then there's also a guy by the name of Sean Logan, who debuted last time. A lot of people may know him as Sean Logan, but for us, he's Sean Logan, a man who spends a little too much time on his cell phone, even in the ring. And then the 11, I think, is that it? That may be it. Oh, and Darius Luttrell, who is a big dude. Darius is a part of a tag team. He's never wrestled. Well, he actually had one match for us that was without his tag team. So he has a tag team with Coda Hernandez. They pick and pop. They're usually a tag team for us, but he is another big man to get over the top rope. So that's exciting. We have a new belt, and it's sort of like our Intercontinental Championship. It's white, like the old school one.
Nice.
It has and Maxwell Street is an ode to Chicago, the Jewish community, as well as other communities, Maxwell Street became a place where, immigrants really could start their lives again. And so we played around with a bunch of different, one idea was to call it the deep dish pizza belt. Which,
You mean Dough Lasagna Championship?
Exactly. We almost
Just
had a
saying.
sponsor. We had a sponsor we thought was going to sponsor it, but that didn't happen. So long and short of it, at the end of the day, I eventually just we had to make the title because we were having the show. And, this will sometimes, especially since our champion currently doesn't live in Chicago and can't be at everything. Also, like the summer, we're going to a bunch of boys camps. So we're doing a tour, but we're not taking women up to wrestle in front of 13-year-old boys who haven't seen a girl in 6 weeks. So
Smart idea. Very smart.
Yeah, exactly. So Billy,
all the counselors are appreciating that.
So Billy is still the champ by then, which would be several months more of championship. We wanted to, if this happens to be, there's one open spot, but besides the chances are stacked against a female winning this belt. We want to be able to have a mixture of different ways to allow people to present themselves. And this is just another. And all of our belts are intergender.
Nice.
Real quick before we get any further on the card, I find it fascinating that you've tied in the Bible and teaching. Is this a good way to start those conversations with some of these young kids?
I hope so. There was a moment. So in Judaism, we have this thing on every doorway. It's called a mezuzah. So if you walk into a Jewish organization, or if you've gone to the shows of the synagogue, and you look at the doorway, there's like this, it could be as big as a pen, and it's just like sort of slanted. It basically is just like to say, like, every time you enter something, you just remember God's with you and respect. It's not like overly, like, it's not like, I have no desire. Judaism, a few of the beauties of Judaism, we don't proselytize.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're a good person and you're not Jewish, you're still going to do well in the afterlife. Like, I don't have a monopoly on that. Well, I do. I personally do. But,
Shoot, dang it. Are we so good, Jeremy?
Yeah, we're good. So we were in the second show. The wrestlers pulled me into the locker room for a moment. I'm like, yeah, what's up? And they're like, can you explain what this is? And I went into it, and so I'm just like, it's sort of like, always starting every time you enter somewhere, like, you have God in your mind or humility in your mind. Like, I really look at God as like something that keeps us humble. Like, if we're the be all and end all of anything, then it's not good. And also, if you take God out of that context, like, God is not here to command you. The commandments which do exist are to keep us humble, to keep us on a straight path, to make sure we're kind to our neighbors. And if you're not kind to your neighbors, and you're using that in a bad way. So it was a teachable moment for me. And I was like, wow, after the first wrestling show that we did, I can't tell you how many people came to me and said, I was in the synagogue willingly for my first time, or I spoke with a rabbi for the first time, or and I've had WWE wrestlers reach out to me and ask me Jewish questions. Like, there has to be religious leaders outside of just the pulpit.
Gotcha.
And so the answer is yes, but I don't force it. It is
Gotcha.
Only if it's natural, because anything you do in life, if it's forced upon you or someone's trying to push it down your throat, you're either going to come to it in a really way that you don't want, or you're going to reject it. And I don't believe that religion is here to like clamp us down. I believe it's to lift us up and keep us in a good way, and to bring people together. And while I was, maybe I don't talk about this so much, but not that I'm ashamed of it. I'm very proud of it. I was the chairman of the Highland Interfaith Council, which was when I was in Highland. And one time I came into the room, they all started clapping. I was like, "What's going on?" They're like, "No, only the Lutheran pastor showed up." So I broke. It wasn't just that I broke, the Christian the Christian monopoly they had in the room, but also like another religion. It was like a standing ovation. Like, thank you. Rarely do you just walk into a room to a standing ovation, so I'll take it.
Well, I wanted to kind of go with what JR brought up there too. When you started mentioning, as far as this is following lines from the Bible here, and it's Destiny, I literally thought you were using passages where like Abraham begot Isaac, begot all that, those long chunks of the Bible where it's the whole lineage of all of the family down through somebody who's, I don't know, there's like 6 letters in that name and I still can't pronounce it, something like that.
We once took a test in rabbinical school about the prophets, and the questions were like, who's this person? And we're talking about someone whose name's just mentioned randomly in like Jeremiah 36:2, and like everyone failed the test, every student. And the guy was like the professor was really upset. We went to the administration like, you don't know, the professor doesn't know the answers to this, and if he does, it's only because he wrote the test. It's like he went, so like, yeah, it's got to be applicable, and it's and it's to spark conversation. I think that's the biggest thing. It's not to preach. I don't care that my crowd is Jewish or not Jewish. I care that we're doing these things together. That's what I care about.
You're right, and not to get on a high horse here, but definitely with community as a whole, I think that's one thing that obviously brought us together as far as being wrestling fans and stuff. But talking of that and just knowing a few faith things, if you will, from my end, it's definitely I think a positive. And this is me not trying to blow smoke up your ass or anything like that. Excuse my language, by the way. But no, I think it's very important as far as to create that community with whether it be Judaism or Christianity or Islam or Buddhist or anything like that. I think having that community where you can go to where you have those common grounds, I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah. And Tom, just one last thing. And I don't roll on Shabbos, which is also key. I'm just looking behind me.
The dude abides for sure.
I was in a bar. I was in a bar in Germany named Lebowski, and they set it up like his, it's his apartments. Like I got a rug and a bowling ball. It was really fun.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Amazing. Okay, back to the show. Again, no certain order, so we'll pull this next image up, and this is going to be, you said it earlier, Kylan King making her debut in Chicago and for 2econd Wrestling, taking on Free Range Kara, who we've seen many times, always enjoyable. Yeah, Kylan will be cool. I've only gotten to see her on really AEW, so.
Yeah, she's as hot as they can be right now. I can't imagine she's going to be in the Indies much longer.
Yeah,
I think Kara is the best unknown wrestler there is. I mean, she doesn't travel as much. I don't know if that's by choice. She also has a real life outside of wrestling. Yeah. And Kylan is. We've been impressed with her. I was shocked to find out she hasn't been here. And I was down in Florida and got to see her live. And originally, I didn't know. I was like, "Oh, we got to figure this out. I got to figure this out." And I love them together. I think their styles. First of all, they both can go. All 4 women on this show can go. I mean, they can wrestle anyone at any time, anywhere, any style. And so this will be both a fun match, but also a technical match. And, I love what I'm really excited. So a lot of fans have asked when we're going to release our Chelsea versus Billy match on YouTube. I was like, I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because I kind of want to release it when the 2 of them are face-to-face in WWE. And Michael Cole goes, "First time ever," and I go, "No, it ain't."
Right?
or WWE is calling for the footage. So, I feel like in some ways this has that feel to it too. Like these two women are awesome. They could wrestle anywhere, and will they'll. I think both. We have a lot of great matches on this card, and a lot of great talent. But I think both these women matches could steal the show.
Oh, yeah.
Now, let me ask you real quick, because I've certainly not ever seen these two together.
Mm-hmm.
Is Kylan much taller than Kara is?
Yeah, I think she's taller. She definitely presents herself taller. I will say this. It's a little difficult to understand how tall everyone is because you really compare them by who they're wrestling.
Exactly.
Right? So, like, you only notice Darren Corbin's height when he's next to Lore. You don't really notice his height when he's next to Cannon.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I always joked with all of them, like, I'm bigger than all of you. 6'2", 240. Like, not Lore, but besides him, like, it's like if I knew wrestling, I could squash. Who's really big is Colt. Is really big. Colt's a big dude. So Kylan, I believe she's bigger. I mean taller. I don't know. I don't know their exact heights, but Kara's only fit. She's taller than Badger. Badger's not tall. I mean, Billy's not tall. Blair's not tall. I'm thinking about the women who come through First Wrestling. Hyann was a little taller, I think, than some of those, but not, So, I think she has the height advantage.
All right. Sorry, didn't mean to sidetrack.
No.
Let's keep rolling.
We're good.
All right. There we go. First time ever. Draper taking on Hammerstone.
That's the only picture I had of Draper that he sent me for last year. He is like twice as big as is Hammerstone. So these dudes are, I told Cannon I was booking this, and he said, that is a lot of beef in the main event. Big dudes. And I'm just excited. I'm excited to see it. Like, I think that's part of the booking that I've gotten to now I know we're going to sell a certain amount of tickets. And the first 3 shows, like, bit my nails off. And like the week before the show, we'd sell as many tickets as we did the month or 2 before. And so, like, you don't know that, and you put your hard-earned money on the line, and the company's reputation, and like, and all these things. Does the venue want to work with you again if you don't sell tickets? All those types of things. So, I knew that we wanted to have really great main events. And I knew that we were going to do the best to come up with matches that people haven't seen and they want to see. And I think, and matches that I want to see. Like, why? Like, I said to myself, when I found out, when I texted Dak and I said, where have you guys wrestled before? And he's like, oh, we've never wrestled. I'm like, how is that possible? Because they've both been on the scene for a while. It's not like they're brand new, or it's not like, Ja, who's starting to really climb the ladder. Well, yeah, because he's been mostly in Minnesota, and now he's starting to get booked a lot of places. That makes sense. These guys are on TV. How is it possible? I mean, Dak was in WWE, training. How is it possible? When I found out, I was like, oh, that's definitely the main event. If it's never happened before, and so I also try to book matches that, like, does it pass my litmus test of, like, would I want to see that on the card? And that's a hard thing, right? It's a hard thing for wrestlers because there is a disconnect. Like, some wrestlers like, take a flyer on me. Well, every wrestler says that. Every wrestler thinks they're going to sell tickets. The truth is, some of the biggest names you can think of don't sell tickets. They're nice to have on the card, and they have a great match. And at the end of the day, we're putting up our money to bring you onto the show so that you will sell tickets so that we can do another show. And those all have to feel right. And we do always book at least one. So Jordan Cross, who's in the Battle Royal, we asked our fans. We put out on Instagram, who's local, because I didn't want to be like, who do you want? Oh, we want you to book all of Dark Order. Okay, great. Right? Like, book, put MJF versus Stone Cold Steve. Yeah, I'm great. That sounds awesome. They would love to do it too. If you send me $100,000, we're going to figure this out. So Jordan Cross, we put out like who's local that hasn't wrestled for second, that needs a more opportunity. Who do you guys want to see? And we got a bunch of different names, but the most amount of people, like a lot of people, wrote in, you got to watch Jordan Cross. So we watched a match. He reached out, we reached out, and we're like, let's try this. And to be honest, with the amount of people who are excited to see him, if Jordan does a great job for us, there's no reason we wouldn't have him back.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Smart.
You guys ever seen Jordan Cross?
I don't think I have.
Not yet.
Okay. He's mostly
Look forward to it
based in
then.
Wisconsin. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's the other thing. Like some of these, one of the nice things about having a diverse locker room is that, Cannon's there. He may book someone if he feels good about it. We've had Dan the Dad, and a contingency from St. Louis come, so they can book at Glory Pro. So there's a variety of different people. We've had Swaggle on the show, so Swaggle has a promotion in Wisconsin, right? And there's guys that we love that we just have only, we don't run every month. The freelance runs like every other weekend or every weekend. We run every other month, whatever. Yes, we're doing this really cool tour in Wisconsin, which I'd love to talk about for a moment. But so like I'll give you an example. Sierra and Joey Avalon, we love. They booked. We booked them twice. We tried to book them another time. It didn't work out. But like, I'm not booking them because I don't want them. They've been great to us. Great. I don't have a bad thing to say. They're both great workers. Joey was in a match with Carlito. That was awesome. And if he can, be in the ring with Carlito, he can be in the ring really with anyone. Yep. And Sierra also. So they're not booked on our shows because we have anything against them. They're not booked on our shows because we only have 5 to 7 matches on a card. We never run a 6-hour show. We're mostly kid friendly. It's usually an hour and a half. We maybe if we're at a bar, we run 2 hours, and that's more for the bar, so they can sell more alcohol than it is for the show. And we only have a limited amount of spots, and not every match is going to be a 5-way, match. So
nice. It's an exciting show you got coming up here. We got was this the other one I have? Miss Kate versus Killa Kate.
Miss Kate versus Killa Kate.
Wow.
Kate-a-mania.
Kate's squared going down.
A lot of Kates. Killa Kate's been with us, and Miss Kate have both wrestled once for us. They have never wrestled before. Both of them are Killa Kate's on WoW, and Miss Kate's on NWA. So the two of them have not wrestled. So if you love like the non-WWE TV products, this is the match for you.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to see both of them, not obviously against each other, but at Ironheart Pro around this area. And Killa Kate, that picture is always deceiving because she's really not that nice. She doesn't smile at all. The picture is very deceiving. And Misa Kate is, honestly, she can run circles around that ring. She's amazing too. So this is good. That was when I saw that match, I was like, this is going to be a hell of a match right here.
Yeah. So Killa was in a 4-way. They both were in 4-ways actually by chance. Okay, we had Killa was in a match with Heather Monroe.
Nice.
And Andrea de Leon, she's from Texas, also great up and comer.
Yep.
And Emma Camacho, that was her first match outside of Texas. So that was a 4-way that was planned. Our last show. We talked about we had a bunch of injuries and we had a bunch of cancellations. And she originally the match, the main event was Billy Starks versus Shaza McKenzie, who was in town, and Missa Kate. And we added Laney Luck to that because I mean, when I say the card changed within hours of the show, it was just crazy how many people, knock on wood, I know that's a crazy term, but knock on wood, we have not had cancellation for the show. No one has had COVID. No one has impaled themselves. No one is stuck somewhere. The weather's supposed to be good. I'm hopeful this will be our first show where I am not at the, Saturday night being like, oh crap, who's available and in town right now? Because can't fly anyone. So, so far we're in a good shape. I'm just crossing my fingers.
Right. Oh, that's crazy. Did I gotta ask Jeremy? Did I miss anything? Were there other match?
We have not announced.
I got the Cannon and Cole, but they weren't matched.
We have not announced what they are doing.
Okay.
We have not. We did announce Better Together will be there. They're a tag team. They will be in a tag team match. That will be, and that will. So there's 6 matches on the card right now. Well, 6 or 7 matches on the card right now, and we've announced a good portion of them, and then we've not announced what Colt or Cannon is doing.
But Colt will be there.
He will be there. He's got Ring of Honor the night before. And then he's coming to us. One of the reasons we didn't announce him right away is because he has Ring of Honor the night before. But he's local. Like, this is his Jewish community center. So, he probably went to as a kid. He was on our first show. We really wanted to have our 1-year anniversary. And he once texted, he's like, you don't have to book me on every show. Not in a mean way, but I always check in on him because this is where he's at. The rabbi's promoting it. He does sell tickets. That's an easy one for us, and he can have a good match. What they say with a mop. I mean, he's just one of the best in the world. And maybe I shouldn't have used that term. But it
got hot in here real quick.
but he is, and he's one of the best guys in the world.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I think he's live on Whatnot, so he's not watching this right now. Right now for Pro Wrestling Tees. My biggest issue with him is that he's a Cub fan, which is is a diehard White Sox fan. That's tough to swallow. I'd rather you can root for the Twins. I get it, but the Cubs, how much losing can you go through in 100 years? So, are you a Cubs fan, Tom?
No.
Me, no. I'm a Twins fan because I grew up in the Twin Cities, and even though this is not a Twins logo right here, I will bleed Twins blue until I die.
So you want to hear one of the coolest things I did as a rabbi? Are you a Vikings fan? Is this a group of Vikings fans here?
No, this jackass above me is a fucking Cowboys fan.
Cowboys? Oh, no. I mean,
we won.
Yeah,
they all have flaws. Yeah, we get it.
I won last night my fantasy football by half a point, but had I played Ezekiel Elliott, I would have won by much more. So
I only won because I played Tony Pollard.
So I'll tell you real quickly a cool story. As a cool fact, I did the opening blessing for US Bank Stadium.
Nice.
It was me and the Ring of Honor. It's like Rich Gannon's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, you're Rich Gannon. What's up with you? Chris Dolman's like, oh, Rabbi, I went to Israel. I'm like, let's talk about it. They're like, okay, so Chuck Foreman's at my table. I'm like, I don't even know what to do with myself. And I'm a Bears fan, but I'm pretty excited to be any team's Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
A small, so it's like an intimate event. The owners had Wilfs. There was a pastor and a rabbi. I got to do the blessing.
Oh, that's awesome.
So super cool. And I have this, they gave everyone this print, and I'm getting it slowly signed by the Ring of Honor. I got 12 of them. It hangs in my office, my one piece from Minnesota that but I'll tell you the best part is my wife said, take a buddy. She doesn't want to go. She doesn't really care so much about football. You'll have fun. I take a picture of her. I said, sweetheart, you've made a colossal mistake. We're sitting there. We're sitting with Chuck Foreman. She doesn't care. They unannounced Jennifer Hudson playing an intimate concert just for a few people, sitting as close as this phone is to my face, serenading me. You made a horrible mistake.
Oh, that's amazing.
Just because you don't like something doesn't mean something good can't come out of it. Come on now. What are we doing?
I'm like, Jennifer Hudson is spitting on me, and I'm not upset about it at all. So, yeah. So if I ever watch U.S. Bank Stadium, it's a cool piece of trivia. Like, who blessed the stadium? Oh, Rabbi, I happen to know him. I happen to know him.
That is amazing.
Rabbi Jeremy Fine for the win.
Too. Right?
Well, I mean, I think there's other reasons, but I will definitely take that one.
Dalvin Cook.
That's why the Cowboys dummied you guys by like how many points of you?
Are you blaming Jeremy Fine for this?
No. I'm thanking him. Actually, I don't know if the Cowboys have lost in U.S. Bank Stadium. Actually,
I mean, they would have if they somehow made it to that Super Bowl.
Except for this year, a lot of teams have won in U.S. Bank Stadium.
Yeah.
We're not gonna, let's not make this all of a sudden Vikings bashing here, okay?
They're the best team in it. I'm so proud of the Bears for losing this week, because if they would have given that pick to the Packers, we could have never it would have been another 15 years. That's the storyline. Bears screw up game, another 15 years of losing to the Packers. That's what it would have been. Yeah. There's no doubt. So
yeah, I know it's painful as far as those Packers games and stuff, especially for Bears fans, but sometimes you just got to be smart. I mean, I don't even know why the Lions are trying to win right now. Like, just tank the season. Everybody except for the Vikings and the NFC North should just tank the season. Just call it quits.
They're just going to lose. The Lions are going to lose regardless. It doesn't matter. You play for your fans. You don't play for a draft pick. They're going to screw that up anyways. The one draft pick they made that was amazing retired after like 3 seasons. Like,
yep. Never mind.
This team ain't going to win. They ain't going to trade me. I'm done.
We've you said it already once.
There he is.
We got Eric Cannon making his return to second wrestling this weekend as well. We always love seeing Eric Cannon.
Yeah. Return is a weird word for this because he only missed one show. And it was only because he was in freaking Florida. And I couldn't get him to – he goes every year to Fest and does wrestling down there. So he's booked annually there. I should have known that. But you know what? I did text him. I said to Cannon and Corbin, I go, the first show I sold out, ironically, the two of you are not on. So,
oof.
But
dummy on him.
But no, the truth is, my guys the hope is that they always have a spot, and I got into this because of them. I love it because of them. Why would I want to go out afterwards with anyone else? Although, it was fun going out with Gangrel and Chelsea Green, I'll tell you that much. But there's a second group. And, by the way, I should put them over too. Chelsea and Gangrel were two of the most, we've worked with a lot of guys now, both from my time in First Wrestling, but also at Second Wrestling. And I can't speak more volumes about who they are as outside the ring, as people, and how they conduct themselves and how they engage the fans than I can about Gangrel and Chelsea Green. I mean, if you guys ever get a chance to meet them or run, they're just the best in the business in terms of who you want to work with. And I imagine if we can get them back at Second Wrestling, eventually we will. And I got to see Gangrel down in Florida. He was on that show that I told you I saw Kylie King, and great to catch up with him.
Yeah,
he spit his blood all over me and all over the days.
Yep. It's hilarious. Yeah, no, I like Gangrel. He is a very nice guy. I'm friends with Wes Briscoe, so I've been to a couple Florida shows down there with Wes that Gangrel's been on. So, and I think he's done some stuff at the school before. So,
is he's still wrestling?
Yeah, not a lot, but kind of just around that Florida area. Yeah. Yeah, man. So we're about at our hour. We're gonna skip Q&A. We usually do like a rapid fire Q&A, but I don't want to keep you any longer. This is gonna be kind of a weird Tom game because I feel like this was just a really good conversation.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of tomfoolery. Get it? Tomfool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Tom game might be a bit difficult for Mr. Jeremy.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, fire away.
Let's do it, though.
What's the Tom game?
Oh, I got to play
JR,
our
you gonna play the intro?
expensive little. I got to find it first. Hold on. Stand by.
Oh,
Here we go.
All right, Rabbi, fine.
That's
This
a
is
very
obviously you saw the
expensive
graphic
intro, by the
there.
way.
Yeah. Who am I
Yeah.
tagging with? Who's my opponent? Who's my manager?
Yep. So out of the three of us, it's basically like F, Mary, kill. So
Got it.
again, who you're tagging with, who do you want as an opponent between the three of us, and who is your manager?
Oh, but the three of you?
Three of us. Yeah.
That's the catch.
That makes it
Yeah.
harder, doesn't it?
I
Yeah.
thought you were going to give me like Savage, Piper, Hennig.
Well,
Okay.
the fact that I feel like you were already writing some names down, I kind of want to hear that one too.
No, I thought you were going to give me the name. All right, tag. Okay, I think I'm going to tag with Tom.
Good choice. Wise.
I think
Very wise.
we'd play maybe a little bit of that odd couple sort of vibe, and but also after our victory, smash beers.
I love it. Perfect. We don't need the rest of them. Just you and me tagging? Absolutely. 100%.
So, Ace, you're going to be my manager.
I'll take that.
I don't have a reason why, except for oldest guy on Twitch, who I actually don't believe I know your name even through this entire thing.
Even
Yeah.
better.
But-
JR.
I did
JR.
not realize
John
you
Russell.
had that up the whole time.
Yeah, the whole
But
time.
here's the thing. I am in horrible shape. You told me that you are older than I am, and so
Oh, yeah.
I feel I have the best chance of beating you.
Oh, and I already know he's got bad knees, bad
He's
head,
got bad
bad back.
knees.
I'll tell you every spot to hit.
So, that just seemed like the out. And plus, my guess was that everyone chose Tom before me as the opponent, and I had to be a little bit different.
Just about. This is only the fourth time people have picked to wrestle JR, and only the second time anybody's ever picked Ace as their manager. So, bravo.
Who was the other?
Bravo.
But the one thing I'm worried about, JR, is you are clearly studying a lot of film, so you would know this is a very bizarre match that you have. Like, why? I don't know what their obsession with this guy is. By the way,
Yeah.
I don't get it. I
don't. No.
He's Omos, but he's not
He's
Omos.
not. That's
Yeah.
They,
And I
they
like
signed him
Jay
before
Lee.
WWE could. That's the thing,
Yeah.
I think, right now.
He's only dropped one guy that's jumped on him, so that's not bad.
Oh, that's
I
great.
will say this real quick. I appreciate you picking me as your opponent because nobody else. Everybody's like, oh, I don't want to beat up the old guy. And I think that's the exact thing that you should do. Take the weak link and beat the tar out of him.
Who else picked him as opponent? Do you have it?
So, the Golden God, Bryce Jordan, that's a given.
That's they don't like each other.
Briar Hale, and then not to kind of ruin the rabbi's day here, but the other one was
I
Darren
remember.
Corbin. So
That's right.
I mean, I don't want to be that guy.
I'm going to use a little Yiddish. That's schmuck.
The thing about it is, Darren Corbin is like the wolf that goes after the weakest sheep.
Well, I'm also, if I'm a mark for one guy, and that is MJF.
Yeah.
And
As you should be
what
at
did
this
he do
point.
last week? I mean, MJF. I can't take it how much I love to hate him and love him.
Right.
I actually got to interview him before he was.
Oh,
And,
wow.
he's not returning my calls, but he's grown slightly since being interviewed by a rabbi. But man, he's everything he says he is and
Yes.
more, and I respect it. And a real cool tidbit: when I used to coach high school basketball, and the manager of the team, like the student manager, Tony Khan.
Oh, wow.
Really?
That's amazing.
Yeah, really cool. I've got like these weird, cool facts. You ever see A Serious Man, that crazy movie?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like the most depressing. If you ever want depression, watch A Serious Man. It's the most. It was filmed in my office at Temple of Aaron.
Get out of here.
Like,
Really?
there's like I have like these weird kind
Wow.
of cool facts about me that I share every once in a while.
Okay.
Awesome.
So that means we need to have him back again so we can
I'm
get
happy
the
to come
Q&A.
back. I actually believe so maybe we'll do this again in 2023. I think with all that's going on in the world, I decided that and I sort of stopped my podcast. I had a podcast and Bob Saget was my last guest.
Oh, wow.
Oof.
And I just like really it's hard for me to just we became friends, we texted, I really adored him. So much we were friendly to the point where my kids were actually like, why did you go to the funeral? I was like, well, I wasn't really invited. They didn't understand, right?
Mhm.
So because they're younger, but so anyways, long and short of it, I've had a hard time bringing myself to like, who am I going to record with now? Like, sure, if Michael Jordan or Bill Clinton want to come and speak with me, I'm happy to do this, but like, can I top that? Like, he's my favorite comedian, and then he passes like shortly after. So so long short of it is that I realized I really missed this, and I thought about maybe putting out there to religious types, to wrestling fans, to sports, whatever the conversation is, because I really talk toys. I can really talk about anything. Just going on like doing a bunch of podcasts where I'm the guest having a conversation because I'm a little different for a rabbi. I understand that, and I do it. It's intentional. I could sit in my office and study all day like the rest of them, but that's not me, and that's not what I want to present to the world. So I'm happy to come back. I'd love it, and we can talk wrestling, we talk sports, whatever.
Definitely. And
Heck
guys,
yeah.
again, going down this weekend, Dynasty. Make sure you check it out. Try to get those tickets before they're gone. We will definitely come spring, summer have to make a trip down then. It's not a big drive for us, so we'll come down for a show this spring or summer for sure.
Free T-shirts and JR if you want that match. Maybe I'll finally get in the ring.
You know,
Ooh, this is JR's first challenge, by the way, too. I've been challenged many times, but JR's first.
it really is. And if I'm honest, we might have to think about this. Although I'm instead of you and I being combatants, I might have you. I might see if I can convince you to help me beat the hell out of Bryce Jordan, who I know you don't know him.
No, I don't know him.
But Bryce Jordan has kicked me in the gonads 2 times, and these 2 morons have taped it.
And it wasn't even in the ring.
No, he
It
does
was
it
not.
out on the street.
What the first
You
one?
guys, this is the Thunderdome.
Let's run this one time because I think Jeremy deserves to see.
You guys, this is the Thunderdome, and it's a fantastic venue. I've already looked around. We'll show you a little bit more later. I'm going to hit the can quick. You can come in with me if you want, to a certain point, right? But gosh, it's like a ladies' room, men's room, and it's kind of like mirrors and stuff. And anyway, I'm going to lock. Let's try a couple here. Locked, busy. It's a busy place, and but I gotta use that. I gotta use one of these.
Gotcha, fucker! Boom! That's right! I'll be where you'll never expect! Touch Fuck you, JR!
Now,
Why is Tom celebrating?
because Tom is a piece of crap. That's what.
No, hold on. Let me clarify this. Bryce Jordan, the Golden God, young man, great wrestler, great talent, needed a mentor, if you will. So I'm over here living, if you will, the top shelf life. And it's not my fault that young Bryce Jordan has decided to follow this and started living the top shelf life as well. Now, did I tell him that JR was going to the restroom or doing this little video tour? Maybe, but also, the kid makes his own decisions, and he's a great guy in all aspects of life. Just JR just doesn't like him that much. That's all.
I feel like Ace is very quiet about this subject.
First of all, it's weird that JR was giving a tour of the bathrooms. I'm gonna just say
You're
that.
the one that wanted me to do it, for cripe's sake.
No, I didn't. But yeah, I like Bryce, but I have to play middle ground because I'm also affiliated with him a little bit, so I kind of have to play nice. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why he has it out for JR, but Tom's kind of an asshole for that.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, JR. The other thing, if you don't want to wrestle, is have you ever lost to a rabbi in a beer chugging contest? Probably not.
No.
No. So there's lots of ways we can compete. It doesn't have to be.
I'll tell you, if you can find,
but not Summit.
No, I wouldn't touch that. If you can find the proper,
come on now.
the proper ale that I can drink quick. Some of them, because I'm old and I can't drink it all fast. It has to go down smooth. So if we can find the proper one, I'm all for giving it a shot.
I will tell you the biggest thing I miss about Minnesota is that so I'm not a huge drinker post college, but Minnesota, you could have a good beer. Like they have beer is good. It's not it's yeah. We had by the way, someone just asked a question. We've collaborated with First Wrestling. We did we held a match there to see who gets into our tournament for title, and we've collaborated with DFW down in Dallas where we had our title defended, and we absolutely. I believe that is we would love to collaborate. We did 2 Twitter Spaces, one with AWF, who you may be familiar with in Minnesota.
Yep.
And the other one was New Wave. So we would maybe hold more Twitter Spaces, but also if we've talked to CCW down in Florida about bringing up their champion and defending it on our show when the time is right. So we are absolutely open to almost all promotions, assuming we think this promotion is a good promotion. And by good, I mean good people. We are open to having belts defended on ours, bringing our belt elsewhere, running shows together. So yes, the answer to that question that was down below, we absolutely.
And he's got a second question for you here too.
We'll continue to tour around towns in 2023. Like they went to Palatine and loved to show in their hometown of Wood. I don't know where Wood is.
Wooddale,
Wooddale.
Bensenville.
Wooddale or Bensenville. I don't know that we'll go out to Wooddale or Bensenville, mainly because I am a full-time rabbi, and to promote shows, it has to be, for the most part, driving distance, unless the venue is a full partner. So what I mean by that is the venue is selling the tickets, and I don't have to drive there once or twice a week, then yeah, we're open to that. So if you know a venue that or an organization that wants to bring second wrestling in or fun kid wrestling, yes. So when we have actually 2 meetings this week for 2 other suburbs. We are not a monthly promotion. I don't have the ability right now to do that. But we have 5 shows lined up, none of them to the public yet. My belief is that we'll run February, maybe March, May or June. And then one other summer show, like a bar like we did last summer. And then we'll always be off September and October because I am a rabbi and it is Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah and I'm stressed enough. So I don't need the stress. So maybe we'll run late October, like we did this year. But yeah, definitely. If you know places that want to host us, bring in wrestling. I mean, that's the key. Is that post-COVID, the venues are a little more conservative in what they're doing. And the ones that aren't are, I think, seeing the reward. I think Dirty Nellies will tell you, Kings and Convicts will tell you, they did great business the nights we came in. Why would they not want us back? And we are working. I will return to Dirty Nellies, just when it's more about when.
Nice. Very cool. How can people find you guys then online, like social media and stuff?
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all at Second Wrestling, second with a 2. That's an ode to First Wrestling. And second wrestling is the Second City. We're not Second City Wrestling, we're just Second Wrestling, but it's an ode to it. We were a little nervous about like copyrights for Second City, so that's why we're just Second Wrestling with the 2. That's the ode to our time at First Wrestling. I did joke once on Twitter that if we ever went under for any reason, we would just start Third Wrestling. So
that's the way.
That's how they came up with 7-Up.
So we and I don't think we're going to add so much more social media than that. You can find me at Rabbi Jeremy Fine on Twitter and Facebook. My Instagram is private, and it's just me with a bunch of random celebrities that I don't care that anyone really needs to see. It's just really for me to backlog. Interesting people I've met in my life.
Right.
And Twitter's where we're the most active.
Okay.
Just for those who are, watching. And when Twitter, we're on Hive, but I don't get it. I'll be honest, it's so slow. And hopefully Elon Musk doesn't wipe away all that we've built in this last year in terms of Twitter following. So, yeah.
So one more thing here from Midwest Match Card, and then we'll let you get out of here. And we'll definitely have you on before, obviously, all the camps you're going to be doing this summer, because we want to hear more about that. We didn't really get a chance to here.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
That's cool. It's a whole tour, and our plan is to do that, to start it this summer, and then really blow it up when we get a chance to. So we're really excited about that. We're taking
so if you didn't read it, if you didn't get a chance to read it there, I'll just give you a lowdown here.
Bringing in Jordan Cross.
Yep, there you go. So
that's awesome. Well, we like you said, we very, very much appreciate you coming down here. Kind of sad we can't be at the show this weekend. That's why I'm like, we definitely have to make it down this spring or summer to check you guys out, support you guys. We are trying to just kind of cover the Midwest, everybody, and these are the fine promotions that are around the Midwest. So make sure you check them out and support all of them. Rabbi Jeremy Fine, thank you again. You will be back, and I can't wait to see some stuff from the show this weekend.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Continued success.
JR, getting that training shape, okay?
I'm getting this arm ready to drink now.
Go.
Hi, guys.
Have a good one. All right, guys.
JR, the only proper way of doing that is to actually do 12 or 14 ounce curls, buddy.
You know what? I don't care what you say.
You should.
Look at the show up.
I mean,
guzzling is guzzle.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The one time I was supposed to have a drinking competition, I fell asleep beforehand, and I totally missed out on it. So
it was
if Mal's here, I apologize for that still. Yeah. It will happen.
It was pretty hilarious. It was pretty hilarious.
I will tell you, and I mean this sincerely because he's not on anymore. It was awesome to talk with him, and it was awesome because everything about what he's doing is fascinating to me, and the way that he's doing it. It's different than what a lot of the folks are doing, and he's a super interesting person to talk with. And it just brought up all of these questions. I had other questions I wanted to ask too, like it's his first anniversary. Were there any surprises? Was there, what surprised him the most? What made him the happiest? So, I mean, I would absolutely love to have him come back on because he's fascinating to talk with.
Very, very, very good show right there.
Maybe we should try to line him up for the whole 2 hours, but I mean, that's kind of hard sometimes with the first guest, say, hey, let's do 2 hours right off the bat. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I'm definitely with you, JR, on that one.
I always kind of figure if it goes well and they come back, then it's, hey, you could just stay on as long as you want.
Yeah.
Which that will be the thing for him when he comes back on. But yeah, man, that was a good time. Thank you, Jeremy, again for coming by. Guys, make sure you support Second Wrestling out of Illinois, Chicago area there in the suburbs, man. And seeing some of the stuff from their other the shows previous, good time, and they're bringing in amazing talent. So
yeah.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
You guys want to hear about my trek home today?
Okay.
I'm at an intersection, and I'm just looking to go right across. I have a red light still. The turn lanes are going to go. some guy comes whizzing down and does not stop, does not see that it's red light for him. And to avoid hitting people, he then goes to the other side of the median in the intersection to then go the wrong way and almost hits 3 people. And the whole time I'm just shaking my head like, what world is this guy drunk on a Tuesday at 6:30 in the evening? Like, what the hell is wrong with people? So I'm glad to actually be here with you guys. I know that's going to be the first and only time I say that, but definitely glad to be here with you guys.
That wasn't on 61 in Maplewood, was it?
This was the intersection of Fairview Avenue and County Road C in Roseville.
Fairview and C. Okay, I know where that is.
How funny would it be if you both drove by the same drunk guy today?
But it's like, well, no, because I'm coming
it's
home
not
from
that
Maplewood.
hard.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're all over. I'm coming home from Maplewood, and there's a guy with his car up on the median.
Oh man!
And
Jesus.
There's cops all over, and they're hauling. They're trying to take his car off the median without blocking everybody off.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you guys. I've told you guys this before, and you guys in the chat know this. I am hooked on watching those dash cam videos. And because I'm driving so much more and I'm seeing some of this stuff, I'm like, I got to get one of those dash cams and put it in my car, because it's like if somebody hits you, I mean, some of the stuff that I've seen just in the past 2 months, I'm like, oh my God, I almost don't feel safe driving anymore.
JR's YouTube isn't any of his stand-up comedy videos anymore. They're just dash cam videos of him always working. What the
it'll
shit?
Get me
Did you see that?
Dash cams, and me swearing at guys and honking the horn.
You goddamn assholes.
I would maybe switch it up once in a while, but still.
I also know that you say a lot dirtier things than that in private, so I don't want to give it away to the audience here, if you will.
Don't oversell it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to break kayfabe too much here on our own show, okay?
I like how you switched your can coolies there, buddy.
Dude, I mean, I have no. It's 3 beers.
I was gonna say, do you have each separate?
Just
can
got all
and a
the
separate
beers
coolie?
preloaded.
Nice.
I got the Absolute.
How do you not have
I
a
got
cooler
the-
just by you?
Because I'm not an alcoholic. I just know I'm going to go through 3, and then of course our old guest and old friend Dan Bluewitz here for the Uncovered.
yeah.
But
I like he's like, because I'm not an alcoholic. I only drink 1 drink an hour every Tuesday from
1.5.
Oh no,
drinks
1
an
and a
hour.
half drink.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, actually, there has been times I've gotten into like a 4th or 5th, depending on who the guest is. I think the first time we had Shank on, I think I went through 6 that night. Just because I was rolling with him, like.
Oh,
I mean, because Shanky's my boy.
I know one thing that we're not going to ask you to do again, and that's to drink shots. Because you drank those 2 shots and you became a gigantic asshole.
Or you pass out like Waterloo.
Well, so here's the thing. Luke Raven requested those shots of tequila. I obliged because, I mean, for some of us, that guy over there, he's our boss. So, so I did that out of obligation. And then Waterloo, that was just dumb. I went back to my hotel room and then passed out because Waterloo is generally boring unless you're just drinking with your friends, and everybody stopped for a second. I went back and made the mistake of
and you were down at Waterloo friendless.
I was drinking with friends, and then I went back as everybody else was taking a break. I didn't know. Shut up, JR. You
know what? Y'all, I mean, the fact that none of you guys got COVID after that weekend is pretty amazing.
Yeah, because you did. That's fucked up.
I'll be honest
That's
with
very
you.
fucked up.
I'll be honest with you guys. I believe that I am probably a symptomless carrier because I have been exposed to COVID multiple times by different people, and I've never gotten anything.
Well, I mean, that's the weirdest humble brag I've ever fucking heard in my goddamn life.
I'm not bragging. I mean, literally, my son that I live with has had it twice. Me nothing. My grandson was crawling all over me when I was babysitting him the night before that. Then they took him in the next day and he tested positive. I never got it from Ace, and we were sleeping in the same room, so, oh, good.
Oh, did
Tom
he have
is
to
gone.
pee? Did he have to
He must
pee?
have had to, either that or he's pooping.
Or he's pooping. That's gross.
I don't know why he did that. That's kind of unnecessary. But yeah, so I will say this. I did not watch, so it's been real busy for me day job wise. Okay. I watched All Elite on All Elite. I watched Dynamite on Wednesday. And to be honest, here it is 6 days away, and I don't remember anything really that happened other than MJF clocking Regal and who apparently is now gone. So that's interesting. And the talk about him having a if Triple H comes back clause is unreal to me. I mean, that's like some long term. But I've also heard a lot of other stuff too that he didn't feel probably like he was being used properly or respected or had anybody even ask him any questions.
Yeah, that came out, and then like Pillman Jr. and a few other people came out saying that wasn't true and that people were asking, and apparently that was just someone's like opinion. But yeah, no, I do fully believe though that like I could believe that Regal was like, hey man, all right, yeah, I want this in my contract that says I can dip.
Just in case, yeah.
Because
yeah, I mean,
I'm trying to remember, did he sign with them before or after the Vince McMahon stuff broke?
he signed with them before.
Before it broke.
Yep. Well, no, I
feel like
Man,
it
I'd
was
have
after.
To go back and look. I'd have to
he's
go
only
back
been
and look.
there for, was it
like 6 months?
Revolution? Maybe? So January.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess it has been a whole year. He signed because they released him.
Well, and I do know that. I know that. I remember that.
Yeah. So that means that, hey, Sam, good to see you, buddy.
Tommy got a nosebleed.
Oh. Well, he should. That's, you can't do cocaine and drink beer at the same time.
How is WoW on the CW? Is it worth checking out? I almost didn't because of the whole Tessa Blanchard being involved, but I know she's not anymore.
Yeah. I've tried to watch in the heart. It's, I will say this in Toxic Haze Dog, is, if you recall, he's my nephew. That's the wrestling savant that would have a fantastic duel with Danny. And he also got to go to the Wrestling Revolver show on Friday, and like to give us a little report on that too, Sam.
Yeah, who was all there? Moxley, Kenta, Billy.
Yeah.
Who did Billy fight? I can't remember.
God,
it was a stacked show though.
Yeah, and I was just
and it was Kenta versus Speedball.
Right.
So like,
yeah. Well, that's what Sam was saying. He says that's the main reason I went. Mox was there for 20 seconds.
Really?
Well, when you think about it, when we went to that GCW show in Chicago, it didn't take very long for him to pin Cardona.
No, but like he was there, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because he was already there for AEW. Where like he came all the way to Iowa. I suppose though, how far is that drive for him from Cincinnati?
It's easier with some of those interstates.
What?
It's easier with some of the interstates to get from Cincinnati to like Iowa.
Yeah, but it's still a pretty good poke. You're talking about probably at least 12 hours.
So yeah, you got to think he spent 12 hours to either drive or he got flown in there, and you think they do a little more? Like at least do the meet and greet. Did he do a meet and greet?
I don't know.
Or is he literally just at the show for 20 seconds? I'm trying to remember who Billy took on because I can't remember if it was an intergender match or not. Oh, okay, good. All right, good. To the next.
And knocked a guy off the stage. Beautiful. You know, but I was talking about, wow. I've tried to watch that. And I have a hard time because it's like Glow in a way, but it's like super hopped up and it's super gimmicky, I feel like.
Well, this is a reincarnation, if I'm correct, right? Like, there was already a WoW. This is under new ownership. Okay.
Isn't this the one with AJ Lee? Is it WoW with AJ Lee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like a producer and also sometimes does commentary, I guess. Which, man, I wonder if she'll ever make a comeback into the ring. I assume not anymore. I kind of figured that the whole household will probably have zero to do with wrestling going forward, but
probably it's a pretty easy bet at this point.
Oh man, I see pictures of the people on social media when all that shit happened, but I do wonder, and it's like the picture of the one guy who was literally in tears when he made his comeback to AEW Punk, and if you remember that people were like making fun of him online, like, oh my god, this guy's like bawling, and I think they even brought him back that day, and like him and Punk got to meet or some shit. Either way, it's like I love the little like meme. I wonder what he's doing now.
Yeah.
He's probably just super pissed at AEW.
That's an interesting. I forgot that she was the one that owned it. And I also, I mean, I don't know. Did you guys watch that Lakers thing on what the hell was it? HBO?
No. I know what you're talking about, but I didn't watch it.
I can't think of the name of it now, but apparently they're going to do a second season. And that show I thought was fantastic.
Like it was a scripted series, right? Of how okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they play up all the locker room stuff from the Lakers, the Showtime Lakers, and I mean, I haven't seen it, but
it's not like a documentary.
No, it's not a documentary. In fact, it's from what they've said, the truth is stretched somewhat for dramatic effect. But John C. Reilly is Jerry Buss, and he does a fantastic job. And the kid that they have that plays Magic Johnson looks a lot like him, acts a lot like him. It was easy for me to get into because this was back in my heyday of loving basketball when I, right after I got done with high school and had played in high school and still loved basketball.
Yeah, basketball sucks now at the pro level, if you ask me. But
it sure does.
Yeah, like basketball, baseball, those are just like things I never got into.
I do find it funny though.
Love it all.
I'd play in the street with my friends, but that's I didn't watch them or anything.
The most fun I ever had as a kid. One of the most fun things. I mean, plenty of things. We had like from last week.
Eating snow with Hershey's milk chocolate syrup.
No, not chocolate syrup. You use the powdered
the Nestle Quick powder.
You can't put in the syrup. The syrup fucks it up. You put in the
powder
ask though.
And then
mixes. Anyway,
JR, hold on. Let me ask Ace here. Does that fucking change a goddamn thing?
It makes it a little bit more sad, actually.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, because
no.
Anyway.
It doesn't. It doesn't make it any better. I'll tell you that.
It does make it better. It does make it a little bit more sensical, but also still very year poor, if you will.
Not at all. Anyway, so when we were
did you ever chip the shit out of the ice box and be like,
No, that's gross.
It's the same goddamn thing.
It isn't. No, it isn't. No, it
Did you ever put the chocolate powder in first and then get the ice?
Natural snow.
Did you ever do like how people will do like the syrup and the milk out of the fridge at the same time? Do you ever go outside with just a mouthful of powder?
No. This is you're making no sense.
We're such a dick to you right now, and I love it. I will say this. One of my favorite things is when one of you two joins my side to take on the other person. I fucking love it more than anything.
The best comment on this whole thing was Nerd D when he's like, I don't know if I should keep laughing or be concerned for how poor my friend was.
Was.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, go back and watch last week's episode. There was a whole part where JR admitted to literally being, I think, the poorest kid in Iowa, which is saying something at a whole different level.
Sin.
What's
Good
up,
to see
Sid?
you.
Hey, Sister Mine. Long time. Thanks for
How's
coming
things
back.
up in the Northland?
I mean, this might be the first time she had internet since she left the cities.
Seems
So
like it, yeah.
thanks for coming and joining the 2-count.
So one of the things that we did, so we're in the house that we lived in, which was a beautiful and majestic house, by the way, folks.
We played with matches and we played with hay and we built.
No, we didn't have hay. We didn't.
We milked the
have any of that
cows.
shit. So there was a house next
We had
to
to
it.
eat the toys, Eddie.
This is how I get treated now, Sin.
Oh, don't try to fucking pity party your way into.
It's not a pity party. I'm just telling stories. I'm just telling my truth, and you guys want to do whatever you will. Anyway, the point is,
Yeah,
they were building
climbed
a
up hills
duplex.
both ways to school in the snow. Fuck you.
No, don't see. Why would you say something that was difficult for someone who had a hard time and faced an obstacle and overcame it, and then tell them fuck you? That's being a piece of shit. It's what that's being.
Well, hey,
Climbing
you know
up
what?
a hill, climbing up a hill and down for school each day in the snow would be very hard for JR because he'd probably stop a lot of times with just a little bit of powder, a little lick off the
The dessert tray is right there.
Yeah, like
let's be real honest here. I didn't pull this shit out with when Rabbi Fine was here. So okay, I gotta fucking give it to you,
I know,
JR. I'm sorry.
You've been backed up for an hour.
Hang on a second though. Like, did you do this with your kids too, JR?
No.
You fucking liar. You goddamn liar.
No, I never did. I never thought about it because I could afford ice cream.
See, you just mentioned that you're poor.
Yeah,
you said
and that's where it's like, oh, now it's not funny. Oh, wait.
Billy Starks lost the
Marina
Shafir was there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Ray Phoenix, yeah.
Phoenix.
Dan the Dead. And Man Scout, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Swerve was there.
It's a heck of a rundown there.
God, and look at that. I mean, God, that's just a show right there. And then you get Kenton's people.
Yeah, that's just amazing.
Holy crap.
Oh, here we go. Dan's here again. What is he saying about me now?
He's saying he's saying you're hooked on the cocaine.
Listen, just because I got a nosebleed does not mean I'm hooked on cocaine. All right, this happens every winter.
He just uses it as an aside.
That's exactly what it means.
Well, I mean, fine. At least I got a vice other than drinking, right? So that makes me somewhat fucking.
I mean, he doesn't have an Artie Lang nose, so he's okay.
Oh God!
Wow, dude, no one can have an Ari Lane nose. I mean, shit, dude. I feel like if we recast Dirty Work based off of what Artie Lang became, he should have had his nose bitten off by a Saigon Horror in that movie. Okay, I'm just gonna say that right now. Chris Farley would never had that fucking part, and we all would know what Artie Lang became.
The funniest thing of that whole thing is just when he goes to the car dealership and just rocks the back like, "Wakey, wakey, bitch." I laugh so hard when he does that. Dan, what are we, like 2-3 months out from the Jabaco cruise? You're gonna have to give us full reports on that when you go. We're gonna want to hear about it. Surprisingly, some pretty decent AEW names been announced for the cruise.
Yeah, they've really started rolling the names up, haven't they?
They have, yeah. So some pretty big names gonna be on there. It'll be a good time. Someday maybe, but I don't know. End of January, baby.
So anyway, 2 houses down from our house, they're building a duplex, but it's not finished, and they're super slow with it, right? So we started a deal where in the first floor, we have the wiffle ball and, the bat, and then we'd have in the first floor out the window, which there was no window, would be the referee, the umpire, and he would call balls and strikes from above. And then up on the second floor is where the announcer would sit, and he would call the action. And that was fun.
And this was down the street from your house?
2 houses down from where we lived.
Now or when you were a kid?
When I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
What do you do? 3 days ago, we were calling the action because it's October.
Let me.
I was Reggie Jackson. I'm Mr. October.
Oh heck yeah! Let me just say this.
I bet Reggie didn't eat snow.
Reggie loved snow. I happen to know.
He probably did, but just probably not with Nesquik powder. What I love about the story that you just shared, JR, is the fact that it shows imagination, it shows creativity, and I think as we've gotten older and we have more and more technology, which is not a slight on what the platform we are on that right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like so many kids have lost out on these kind of moments.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, the verbal harassment from friends, I think, will stick around for generations. But, you know, like sharing stories of how you were, where you actually got to use your creativity and be imaginative and have those experiences where, yeah, we just got together and we played wiffle ball in a duplex that was being built. First of all, that's probably never happened outside of your group of friends, but that's amazing to me, man. And again,
See, that's the
not
thing.
trying to slight you in the least here.
Yeah, I don't think so, because that's the thing. When you don't have all of these options, right? You got to come up with stuff. You have to come up with something to occupy yourself. When your mom,
hold on, Dan
not my
spelled
mom.
soft wrong. Dan spelled soft wrong. It's
If you say it like, oh no,
soft.
You don't do that. See, you
don't ever fucking bring Enzo up on our show. Never. Don't give that guy any
I'm just
credit.
saying
Don't give that
wrong.
guy any credit. I lost so much respect for you.
So it's but it's funny,
you
though.
had a lot before. Fuck you, you lying son of a
I
bitch.
had a little
Hey,
bit.
look at this. The taxes theft. Oh, God, we're happy to see you.
Hello.
Oh, he's
Awesome.
over on YouTube now, huh? All right.
Beautiful.
Still to wrap up early tonight, or what? What's the deal here?
I cannot believe that
What?
that he spelt it like that.
Dude, it's a come on, man.
You're a loser.
It's part of the arena we're in right now, dude. Don't call me a loser. Enzo used to cut some crazy good promos and stuff. It's not my fault he ended up being a sick fuck or whatever and ruin his own career. That's not my fault.
Not even that. Well, because I think they ended up saying it wasn't true too, that he did anything with that chick. But
he didn't. It
wrestle.
wasn't true apparently, but yeah, he wasn't. I mean, he wasn't great to work with.
Did you make any of the old ladies swear? Happy to see you, Brady. Thank you.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
We're happy to
Sorry, Sid. I meant taxes theft over on YouTube. That's why I was mentioning, Sid, not you. But now I'm seeing all these other people rolling in that used to be regulars around here.
Oh, look! It's now we got the
yeah, $13. Congrats.
Oh, if an old lady said fuck, that's one of my favorite things. Is like an old white lady saying fuck or Indian dude saying panties. If you can get either one of those things in your life, fucking do it every time.
A what?
An Indian dude saying panties is the funniest fucking thing in the world.
I
don't know what it is.
You mean a Southeast Asian Indian man, not a.
That's
Native
why I said
American.
Indian. I would have said a native man. You jackass.
I don't know what you would say.
An Indian man saying panties is the funniest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. Central Roger Shaker on it and Anil Kumar Bandakabe. Those guys know every time they would say it, I would just laugh my fucking ass off.
Okay.
Just saying.
Does that make you kind of racist?
A little bit.
No. It makes me a comedian, you fucking asshole. Fuck you, JR. Trying to start shit with me like that. This is when it gets really bad. Is when I get like
you for your for your ice cream debacle or your snow.
Listen,
debacle.
I've worked. It feels like 200 hours in the last 9 days. So
I gotta say, I just have to say though, like, I mean, the snow and the chocolate pie, that's just never going to go away now.
You got it, you guys. I'm telling you.
Don't even suggest that we try it.
Here's the thing. I'll take money.
Listen, everybody, you got to try this. It's going to change your world. I feel like you should just be doing this now.
I did not say that.
Trump impression.
Helping their grandmothers with bingo? That's perfect. That's what I feel like all the time here. Like these two idiots are trying to help me do something, and they're not helping at all.
Whatever.
I don't know. Look, Tom has a top shelf sense.
Dan's on board finally. Hell yeah, I broke down the wall. Dan's on board. He knows what top shelf is, baby.
I don't think that means what you think it means, Tom.
It feels so good to have the Wicked Lester.
All I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is this. You owe it to yourself to get some Nestle's Quick. And I'll pay for your Nestle's Quick. I'll pay for a can of powdered Nestle's Quick for you guys. And then what you have to do, though, you have to be responsible enough to go and find a pristine, clean, fluffy pile of snow. It can't be the shit that's out there now because it's all ruined. It's not good. You have to have fresh, fluffy snow, and you scoop it up in a bowl and you sprinkle the Nestle's Quick on it, and then you eat it, and it's delicious.
I gotta say, you're willing to buy people Nesquik, and we can't even get a hype train anymore on this station. Come on, dude, or this program channel, whatever. Unbelievable.
Okay.
Yeah. See, Dan gets it too. Don't trust Tom with any powder. Apparently not.
Grim can't agree.
I mean, and I understand you can't agree because you haven't tried it. You can't go out and the snow out here now is not good for eating.
So it has to be when it's like snowing, basically.
It's got to be like, oh my gosh, look, it's snowing. It's fluffy snow. It's super.
So like anytime it like when you were growing up, when it was like snowing outside, you'd be like, yay, dessert tonight.
My mouth would start watering. Yes, I would drool a little.
So again, you're saying fluffy, powdery snow. You're not talking about any of the wet stuff that you can build snowman out of. You're talking about going and picking up a whole cup of.
You want it to be fluffy so that the Nestle's
don't act like my questions are all of a sudden offensive to you. Okay, you're telling us literally how to be poor on. Like, come on, man.
I mean,
you're coming after me like I'm saying something that's out of line.
I will say no, you're not. I will say this. You know, back when I was a very successful road comedian, one of the things that I like to do was go to and don't hate me because of this. I like to go to Walmart because you could get a pound of that bar S bologna for 99 cents. But then to make myself feel fancy, I go to the bakery and get those ciabatta buns.
Bologna on ciabatta.
You know what? You know what? I can't fault you on that because bologna is pancaked hot dogs, if anybody was wondering. And our good friend Manders actually made a tweet about that not too long ago. So
bologna is the scrapings off the floor.
Well, I mean, it's all the same. Bologna, hot dogs, it's all the same, really.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to disrupt you again, but I remember when I was working in Fargo doing a promotion at the Burger King. And we were up there and we were doing a promotion for the Top 40 station. And these two little high school girls came in because they wanted to meet the morning guy. And, we were selling whatever hamburger it was that Burger King had. And somebody said something, would you like a hamburger? And one of them said, I prefer to have a hot dog. And the one girl goes, ooh, you like hot dogs? She says, yeah, I like hot dogs. They're made of lips and asses. She goes, ew, you like lips and asses.
I'm gonna put that in the category of things I wish I'd never fucking heard out of your mouth, JR. Like, Jesus, what a boring ass fucking story, dude.
Are you kidding me? Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? You top that story. Go ahead and try to top that story, Tom.
I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna just
Can't
say this
do
right
it.
now. If anybody in my life had ever asked me, "Do you like lips and asses?" I would have been like, "Yes, 100%." Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Because who doesn't? Now, when you're saying that's a byproduct of the food you're eating, sure, whatever. But she didn't say that. She didn't say, "Do you like pig or whatever lips and asses?" She just said, "Oh, you like lips and asses?" Yeah, sure, absolutely. Come on.
No,
Come on.
She said, "I like hot dogs." He says, "You know, hot dogs are made of lips and asses." She says, "Yeah, you like lips and asses." So,
Yes.
Did they have hot dogs at that time?
oh yeah, they made them. They made them by hand.
At Burger King,
skins-
they made hot dogs by hand.
Skins? No, they never had hot dogs at Burger King.
Dude, McDonald's had fucking brats.
She'd have bratwurst.
Yeah,
I remember the brat.
I was going to say, Dan, you're going to be the first one of my Tom Shellstrom top shelf kiss my ass club right there. Okay, so
It's been
pucker
done.
up.
It's been done. I remember those bratwursts at McDonald's were not half bad. Although they were expensive for bratwurst.
Stop
'Cause you can go to
talking about food. I haven't eaten since fucking like yesterday night. Like, so just relax. All right.
really?
Stop,
Are you
I'm
poor?
talking about food.
Go get some snow.
No, I've just been busy, dude. I worked 16 hours yesterday. I literally got here, signed on right away. So don't act like I'm somehow doing you a disservice.
Didn't Burger King have tacos at one point? Like, more
Stop
King-
talking about
You know what?
fucking food.
Burger King used to
God.
have all sorts of stuff. I remember the thing that we were selling was the
Fucking
Big
idiots.
King, and it was a delicious hamburger.
you had 9 minutes.
It
Pipe
It
down.
had special sauce, and you know what the special sauce is. It's all different with them, but it would be like mayonnaise and ketchup and little and mixy.
Did you ever go to
And now you
Snappy's?
can get you can get that. You can get mayonnaise and ketchup mixed into a jar.
Did you ever go to Snappy Stop when you were in Roch?
Oh, fuck yeah. Snappy Stop was awesome. Snappy Stop was very similar to and I think that they were gonna open one up. We had up in Fargo a chain called Burger Time. It wasn't really a chain. A guy owned a few of them. I think there was one.
Burger
in St.
Time was the
Cloud.
best.
Burger
Yeah.
Time was pretty good. But
No, it
there's,
was the best.
Well, I mean,
There was one in Oak River. It
Guy.
was for the longest time, it was the best thing in Oak River, and then they tore it down because the owner sold it, and they built a fucking Sonic. The first Sonic in Minnesota was in Oak River, Minnesota. What a waste of a fucking everything. Sonic sucks. Burger Time is better by a country fucking mile. Go ahead.
Burger Time. So here's the thing. So the guy that owned, I can't remember his name. The guy that owned Burger Time, he had two in Fargo, one in Moorhead, one in Grand Forks, one in Bismarck. I don't know if he had one in Minot, but then he had one in the one in St. Cloud, and he was gonna build one down here in Apple Valley, but I think he either sold everything or whatever. But we did every year, we would do these big, huge remote packages with him where we'd sit with him for 3 hours and he'd talk about his hamburgers on the air. Yeah, it was quite a deal.
If you give me a hamburger today, I'll gladly pay you tomorrow.
But they were good hamburgers. They were always fast. They were always fresh. And it was like you drive up, you order it, and boom, there it is. And it's like, how can they be that fast?
Freaky fast.
Oh,
All right,
dude.
so
Interesting.
Last one that I know of.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean,
You,
I don't think
Dan, you're
are
100%
there any-
correct.
Are there any Sonics currently still open in the Twin Cities area?
Oh, yeah. There's
Yeah.
one over in Bloomington. There's one
Bloomington,
in Shakopee, right?
The Elk River one is still there. I think there's one in
Shakopee.
Shakopee. Hastings, I think, has one. And I think there's one in
Hastings?
Woodbury, too. So
Maybe it's the Woodbury
Maybe.
one that I went to like a year ago, and it was like there was no one there, and it still took me like 40 minutes to get my food.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I
I'm
hate
not
that place.
Here's the thing. I've been.
But
to
it's only
Sonic-
been at these ones. When I go like other places where Sonic's more around, like
Mhm.
service is way better. But
Well,
it's
I
always
think
the
that
Minnesota Sonic.
I think that goes all the way around. It's like
Although the Bloomington one is usually pretty decent.
it's okay. Here's the thing. For me,
It's right. Hold on, it's right next to a Wendy's in Bloomington, and I would rather go to Wendy's. 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sonic is. I mean, honestly, Sonic is like crap food.
No, I just like their tots
Well, yeah. Okay.
and their cherry lemonade.
Yeah, so their freezies or whatever, their iced drinks or whatever. I mean, they don't use Nestle Quick Powder, first of all, but also that's generally pretty good. And it's like people who say like, "Oh, I love Raising Cane's because of the sauce." It's like, oh, so you go to Sonic for one thing and you go to Raising Cane's for a fucking another thing. Just choose better food. Don't worry about byproducts or like, oh, this is an amenity I can only get there. Take your Raising Cane sauce and shove it straight up your candy ass, and then fucking go to a real place that has real food. I mean, fuck. I live in Roseville here. There's a Raising Cane's right across from a Chili's. Chili's isn't good food either, but that's still better than fucking Raising Cane's. Grow a fucking pair and go somewhere that's actually good food. Stop being an asshole and just eat or go to somewhere because, oh, I like the fucking dessert or whatever. Just eat real fucking good food.
Yeah, don't go to any place you actually like something. How dare you go somewhere?
Yeah.
Don't go there for fucking one thing and think that the rest of the menu is fucking edible. Like, don't.
But what if you go there for one thing and you like that one thing?
Here's why I fucking
What if it's
vent.
the only place you can get something you like? I'll tell you this.
Shut up, JR. Shut up for a second. Let me just say this.
I go to Taco John's because
John's,
I like them
baby.
goddamn potato olays, and I don't like anything else on the menu, but I go for those.
Olay.
But their tacos are good, and their food is actually edible.
Yeah.
But when the first time I went to Sonic, somebody's like, "Oh, dude, you gotta try this fucking limeade thing or whatever." I'm like, "Okay," and like, is the burger good? Meh. Don't fucking bring somebody to the first time and be like, "Oh yeah, well, like everything is really dog shit except for this one fucking drink I like." Who gives a shit, dude?
Well, that or be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go here to get this drink because they have a really good drink. Do you want a drink here?"
Yes, don't lie to me. Say, "Oh, we're gonna go to Sonic. You're gonna enjoy yourself." You fucking assholes! Don't fucking tell me that shit.
Someone really hurt
now,
you.
I will say this: the first time I went to Waffle House, generally not impressed by the ambiance, but still good food. It's generally a dog shit environment. Every time you go, somehow you walk away feeling like you somehow deserved it. You know, like the food was good. I almost got stabbed 3 times walking door, but you know, like, oh, the guy got shot. But yeah, Waffle House, fucking still decent food.
You probably had the stabbings coming.
You know what I really missed down in Rochester is? What? Was I missed the Sky Dragon.
Oh Jesus, that place ain't even open
stabbings coming to me? Is that what you said?
I said you probably had those stabbings coming to you.
They didn't happen to me.
Could have.
Oh man,
Waffle House, man. It's
you guys know Mills Lanes died?
Oh no kidding.
Oh man.
Let's get it on.
Bring it on.
Man, like I saw that Kirstie Alley died, but I literally found out she died from Chris Jericho's post about her today. So,
oh really?
That shows how much of a fucking fan I am, right? Like, oh, let's log on to Instagram. Chris Jericho. Oh, Kirstie Alley died. Holy shit! What else, Chris Jericho? What else you got for me? What other news you're breaking here?
Yeah, IHOP always has terrible service wherever I'm at. Dan,
yep,
I will agree with that.
100%. They are the slowest, worst fucking place to go.
The only time I had good service at IHOP was in Wisconsin Dells, but like none of the people working at that one were from Wisconsin Dells. They were all like there for the summer. Like the girl that helped us was like straight up out of like Switzerland.
Yeah, she was trying to make money. Like that was the only reason it was good service. Everybody's like trying to make money off of tips. But the rest of the IHOPs, St. Cloud sucks total donkey dick. There's an IHOP in Watertown, South Dakota. You would think, out of all the stupid ass options you have in Watertown, South Dakota, which is way too many for that fucking bumfuck town, the IHOP is the worst, slowest, and most depressing fucking place I've ever seen right off a fucking interstate. That's saying something because it's right off a fucking interstate in Watertown, South Dakota, and it's still that much dog shit. That's really saying something when you start talking about the grand scheme of things.
So check this out. This is more about the state of things in Alaska than it is about IHOP.
You're right.
But maybe different. So when I was up there for Peak Entertainment doing a show with John Bush and D'Angelo Funches, we all three go into the IHOP in Wasilla, Alaska. And the three of us are standing there and we wait for somebody to come and direct us to a table. And the waitress says 3 because for those of you who don't know, D'Angelo is black. And she just assumed that he was not with us. And it's like, what the fuck kind of bullshit is that?
They hang out with losers up there, though, dude. Come on.
Wow. I mean, it is two or several old white guys with a younger black man. I mean, can you blame them? I mean,
yes, I can.
Definitely a kidnapping situation. Anyways, all right, you guys. Do you guys have anything to promote this weekend?
Saturday, I am back up in St. Cloud at Silly Beaver Comedy at the Beaver Island Brewing. It's downtown St. Cloud. If you guys want, hit me up either with a whisper here or anywhere on social media, and I can get you cheaper tickets. Use the promo code TOM for 10%, 15% off your tickets.
Who else is on there with you? Do you know?
Matt Doima and then Brandon Gay. I think that's his name. I swear to God, I think that's his name. I'm not sure.
No, I know who. I mean, I've seen the guy. I mean, I've
I like
seen
how
his
you
name.
said it. You said it though, kind of like how Chang does on Community. Gay.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I should have said that much different. Damn it. Yeah, that's
All right.
Yeah, Brandon.
I have no
right.
shows in December until New Year's Eve up in Alexandria.
Yeah, and I got nothing.
Oh, nice.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, because I honestly, to be between you, me, and the monkey, you guys, this day job is kicking my ass.
Yeah.
I am not.
Did you work 16 hours yesterday?
No, because I'm not a dumb fuck.
Yeah, that's your fault though. Didn't you scare the other
Why
guy
would
off?
you work 16 hours? I'm sure they're not forcing you to do it. They don't put you in there and they'll lock you in and say, "Hey, motherfucker, you're not coming out of here until 8:00 tonight."
How funny would it be if
I
Tommy
was
calls
working
us
until
to be
10:30
like,
last night.
Yeah, that is dumb.
Yeah, I mean, the work needs to get done. All right, and I am the only person in my department. So,
do you get a bonus if it gets done early?
No. But
so then, what the fuck are you doing there for 16 hours?
He feels
shut
bad
up. For the last 4 weeks, they've been offering double time for overtime. So,
okay. So it's your so wait a minute. So this is your choice. Don't tell me. Oh, have you been working
I just
for
asked,
16
did you work 16 hours
you're
yesterday?
getting fucking paid for it double.
He's just being
I mean,
nice.
I'm just asking. I just asked if you worked 16 hours yesterday. You said no. So
No,
I don't know why
no,
you're
I
fucking
did
telling
not.
me.
He's just being nice, JR, because he ran off the other guy from his department. So it's just
Oh,
him
that's
now.
right. Yeah. So now you got to do the work or two.
He scared the other guy off.
Yeah, but he was more of an old curmudgeon douchebag than JR here. So I was probably right.
Everybody
in doing
knows
so.
I'm easy to get along with for the most part.
Bah humbug.
Come on. Let's be real here.
You know that it's true.
I've been in car rides with you, JR. I know how hard it is.
True. The chat knows it's true.
All
and
right.
that's,
well,
and that's right. I agree with
No,
that.
I'm not getting
100%.
burnt out, guys. I'm good.
guys, we have a very cool guest next week. You may have seen him in the Midwest area. Lars Metzger is coming on the show next Tuesday night. So, guys, make sure you join us for that. Make sure if you don't know who he is, check him out. And then maybe you have some cool stuff to ask him when he comes on the show. But, yeah, Lars Metzger, good friend of ours. He's going to make his debut on the 2 Count next week.
Yeah. So, you guys, stay tuned. Well, shoot. Should we? God.
What's happening?
We got 10 people. Who should we raid on?
Is Clark around?
No, he's not on.
Nope.
Nobody. I got nobody.
Glostic Willie.
What the hell?
They're banned out of the Cleveland area.
How do you spell it?
GLOSTIK Willie.
Willie.
Oh, there it is. They got 82 people listening. Well, we'll hop in with our 10 and see what the fuck happens. You guys, thanks for following us. We appreciate it very, very much. Have a great week.
Thank you to our guest again.
Say what?
So thank you to our guest again.
Oh, yeah. Rabbi Jeremy Fine. Good luck to him down there with that anniversary show, Dynasty. And we love you guys. Thank you for hopping in. And those of you that haven't been in a while that came in, we're happy to see you too. Yeah, we are. All right. Danny, see you later, buddy. See you, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.